G'day Crustacean Nation, so Prawnalot here with another video. Today we're going to be doing a Betta house swap. If you don't know my two Bettas here, this is Simba and Doc Durfee. Simba and Doc Durfee live in a divided tank, so the water parameters are all the same and the water actually flows all around the tank via a hang-on back filter. So I was doing a bit of a water change and the thought dawned on my mind of, what if I put, Simba into Doc Durfee's tank and Doc Durfee into Simba's tank? My thought process being it would be something interesting for the fish, new habitat to look around in, and it wouldn't be too hard to do because of course the water parameters are the same, and all it really takes is for me to scoop them out and swap them over at the same time. Now Simba here on the right, he is the king of the jungle. As you can see, this side is more of a jungly scape, whereas Doc Durfee's side is a bit more open and it's more just Vallicin area and Java fern. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how they respond to the new habitat, the new plants and the different tank mates. In Doc Durfee's side there are shrimp, but not as many as Simba's side. Simba has the bigger red, female cherry shrimp. In the past, Doc Durfee has eaten shrimp, but I think he has changed his ways, so it'll be interesting to see how he interacts with the shrimp. If he does start eating them, I will move them on Simba's side. Simba is pretty well known for being pretty friendly with the shrimps and even known to steal the shrimp's camera time and move them out the way a bit. So I let the tank settle down after my water change. I let the Betta fish settle down a bit and sort of waited and made sure they were pretty calm. Then it was just a process of catching Doc Durfee and Simba. Doc Durfee was pretty easy to grab. He usually, swims around the top and stuff, so I got him when he wasn't really watching. But Simba was a bit of a tough one to catch. He is known for being quite elusive and always finds a nook and cranny. In this tank we have a lot of crypts, so he ducked down the back of all the crypts right at the back, so I sort of had to wait and coax him out a bit, but I did finally get him, and then it was just a quick transfer over. So I think Simba was starting to sook a bit, as he was the king of the jungle and now he is taken away to the Vallicin area grasslands. He did not seem too happy at first. He did have a bit of a rough time in the net. I think Simba was a little bit shook up from getting netted, so he did rest down at the bottom for a little bit, but within 5 minutes he started to swim around again. And that is something that happens with fish. If they get chased and caught up, they're going to sook for a bit and sort of be a bit stressed out. So I let him be. I didn't really bother him. I didn't put the camera in his face too much because I thought, I'll just let him be. Whereas Doc Durfee was straight into the water, swimming around, checking out everything. It almost makes me feel like the scape on the right is actually much preferred by the Bettas. Maybe it has something to do with the driftwood and the amount of cover that's there. But he was, ducking in and out of all the crypts and the Java fern and the logs, and he was checking out the shrimp. So he really, hit the water running. I think he's really going to enjoy this tank. I do plan to keep them in here for a few months. Maybe 2 months, and I'll swap them back and then see how they react to going back to the other house and see if they remember it. Obviously Betta fish do have territories, and you may be thinking that taking one from its territory and plonking it in a totally random place is a horrible idea. I think it's great. I think it gives them a chance to sort of set up another territory and build up that safe home again. It keeps them busy and it keeps them intrigued. A lot of the time people do similar things where they rescape their tank and replace rocks and move plants and things like that. So it's just like that, but I think it's going to be really fun to see them in the different tanks. I'm already really liking how Doc Durfee looks in this tank. At the start I thought he wouldn't look great for some reason, but yeah, he's looking really nice. And even though Simba is sort of lurking around and not coming up to the top, he does seem to be sussing it out a bit. So Simba set up on the sponge intake on the filter. This is actually a pretty common spot for Simba. In my old tank he used to sit up on the filter intake as well and just sort of sit with the flow. So I'm pretty happy to see that. That means in a way I think he's starting to get comfortable in the tank, and I'm sure as the days go on he will be quite comfortable, so I'm not too worried about him. And as I said before, Doc Durfee has taken his side of the tank very well, very quickly. He's loving it. I gave him a bit of a snack as well, so I think he's enjoying that place quite a bit. So thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of this, if you think it's a good idea, a bad idea, if you've done similar things, if you move your tank around. I definitely recommend moving your tank around. Trees and logs are going to fall into the water, plants will grow and die, things will move around. It's just sort of what happens in the wild, especially with Betta fish. A lot of people say, the reason you can keep them in such small water is because that's how they are in the wild. And a great example of this is the wet seasons and dry seasons. In the wet seasons, the Betta obviously swim through many different water systems and waterways and things like that, and inhabit quite large areas of water. but when it dries up, they end up in these small little pockets of water, and that's where the idea of, you know, a Betta can survive in a cup of water comes from. So stay tuned for some more episodes of Betta House Swap, and I'll catch you in the next one.